All right, friends. Now, if we've ever had the opportunity to hang out around a campfire and just have a very candid discussion, there's a handful of things that you would learn about me. And if we just happen to have ventured into the discussion of teardrop trailers, you would have known that a little fun fact about me is historically, I've never been a fan of them. There's only a few trailers that I've seen over. Actually, it just happens to be in the recent years that really jump out to me, that have me thinking, yeah, hey, I would sport one of these things in a heartbeat. And one of those trailers happens to be the Escapod TOPO2. Now, the original Topo, it wasn't my cup of tea. And there's nothing wrong with that, because let's face it, there's some people like teardrops, others do not. Some want expedition trailers, others do not. When the TOPO2 came out a few years ago, I'm like, wow, this thing looks really, really, really awesome. And then last year, I was out in Abilene, Texas at Better Outfitters. And so these guys I got to take my first really up close look at one of these TOPO2 trailers. I actually got to camp out in it, which was a lot of fun. I'm like, wow, this thing is really, really slick. But that said, I didn't notice everything about it. And so last month I was out in Overland West in Arizona, Flagstaff, Arizona. Fun, great expo. If you've never been, highly recommend it. There's going to be a video coming out on that here shortly. But anyway, while out there, I had the opportunity to meet up with the owners of Escapod, and they allowed me to go out and do a photo shoot on one of these things, and they brought me through all the bells and whistles. And, I have to say, super impressed. And so hence this video, I'm calling it Easter eggs. I think there's probably 6 of them that we're going to be covering here, going through some of these things that I thought were like, hey, that's pretty clever. Because when I was out in Texas at Better Outfitters, when I slept in one of these things, there's a few of these things I'm going to bring up here I just did not even notice, and they are so darn cool. Now, before I go revealing the unique Easter eggs that these trailers have to offer, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a deep dive into its specs, features, to get you up to speed on some of the insight as to why this trailer is such an awesome option for overlanding. I mean, after all, these original features and specs that I'm talking about here are initially what became a big bleep on my radar scope. So I'm going to share those, and then maybe you may share the same enthusiasm with me when I share with you what these pretty cool Easter eggs are. Okay, I'm going to start off with what I'm going to call the 900-pound gorilla. I didn't make up that term, I'm just going with it. But when you look at a lot of traditional teardrop trailers, either they have like a paneling or some sort of aluminum siding and so forth that make up the shell of the teardrop itself. With the TOPO2, this thing is made from a single piece of fiberglass body with a structural pet core, which is made from, here's the cool part, recycled milk cartons, and it doesn't mold or rot and is actually really, really strong. And since there's no wood or metal in the walls or ceiling, this trailer is ultra lightweight for its size. I mean, this thing weighs less than 2,000 pounds dry, that's not a lot of weight. Now, when you look down underneath the fiberglass body of this thing is riding on a 2x1-inch laser cut tube steel frame, which is also hot dipped and galvanized for added durability. Now, the TOPO2 has a proprietary shock and spring independent trailing arm, free ride suspension. So this thing is really designed to handle the roughest terrain. In fact, this thing offers up to 5 inches of independent travel on each side of this thing. Yes! Now, the TOPO2 comes in 2 different models. You have the Voyager, then you have the Nomad. Now, the Voyager model comes in standard with the 16-inch Vision 355 Max 2 Overland wheels wrapped in 265/75/16 General Grabber ATX X ATX. I had to slow that down so I can get that out right. Tires. Now, the Nomad comes with Vision Soft 8 wheels with 265/75/16 General ATP tires. Now, you get 100 amp hours VPR Forever lithium battery, which is used to power 12-volt system like the LED lighting in the cabin, the galley, and underneath the trailer's doors. And there's also numerous USB ports for charging your phones and whatever else that you want to have charged as well. Now, the TOPO2 Nomad has a max air fan to circulate the air through the cabin. Now, I will say this, the Max Air, we've covered this in the past, and I have to say, there are a number of different air systems out on the market. So with Max Air, it doesn't get any better. I actually love this air system because it's so darn powerful.
It's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
But if you opt for the Voyager model, you also get a Truma Combi Eco heater and water heater, and you also have a 21-gallon water tank and a 140-watt solar panel, which is actually mounted. It kind of contours towards the back side of the trailer itself. Now, inside the Topo 2 is a 6-inch memory foam mattress. Now, if you have followed the channel in the past, you know that I'm a very tough critic when it comes to mattresses, whether it be in a rooftop tent or a trailer or a camper or this or that. Reason being is, after a day out playing around and so forth, when I'm out in the sticks, I want to be able to go to sleep. And when you think about, if you speak to other campers, and if you ask them what is their biggest, I want to say pet peeve, but what is their biggest con with camping? And generally, oftentimes people will say it relates to sleeping. Didn't get a good night's sleep or this or that. And that directly relates to what they're sleeping on, what they're using for a pillow or mattress or this or that. So this is very, very important. So anyways, the mattress inside this Teardrop is absolutely, it's the real deal. Now you also do have a angled headboard, so you can actually sit up comfortably while you're in bed as well. Now the trailer does offer a 42.5 inches of headroom, and you have, when you're laying down, you have this enormous 2.5 by 5 foot stargazing window. Now, going back to that little fun fact that I shared with you in the beginning of this video, that traditionally I have not been a fan of teardrops because you feel that you're in a coffin. They always feel small, and I get claustrophobic. So inside this thing, not only do you have these two massive doors on both sides of you here, but again, right above you, you have this 2.5 by 5 foot. It's a massive window that you can open up as well, and you can stare at the stars if there's stars out and so forth. It is just this trailer really feels a lot larger than what it is. So the engineers, the design people that put their thinking cap on with this trailer did an extraordinary job. Now, again, full disclosure, the original Topo trailer, not my cup of tea, but this thing really socks it out of the park.
Otani unleashes!
You know what's funny is, as I'm talking about this big window and being able to look out there at the stars and so forth, and I visualize, boy, I'd like to have that thing cracked open and just have that night air coming in. But when I was out in Texas at Better Outfitters last year, when we were out filming that camping, it was so darn hot and so darn humid. And fortunately for me, the Topo 2 that I was in had the AC unit that they have, which I think it's pretty sure it's Dominic. Anyways, this thing is well worth whatever they charge for this thing on top of here, because that trailer was so darn comfortable between the bed and it just being cool. And actually, I had to throttle back to AC because even for me, see, I'm a polar bear. I should have, I'd be comfortable up in the Arctic. It was cold inside there. I had to throttle that thing back. But anyways, so you can actually, one of the options that they sell these things with is with the AC unit. So anyways, highly recommend that. But getting back on topic, the Voyager model has almost 8 cubic feet of storage space, now arranged in a tier cabinet system. Now the Nomad offers the same amount of interior storage, but it's organized into 2 cabinets, 4 cubbies, and other open spaces for packing cubes. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, there are small nightstands on either side of the bed in both models as well. Both Topo 2 models have a really nice feature. You have heated mudroom. There's one on each door, so you can sit down and take off your dirty, grummy shoes and before getting into the cabin. Now, the Nomad model has a rear galley with space for a stove, cooler, water storage, plus a stainless steel countertop, which actually, I absolutely love this. So this could be great for your food prep, modular shelving for your kitchen items, and so forth. Now, the Voyager model, well, this is going to step it up here. This is your turnkey solution. It has pretty much everything that you need to prepare and cook your meals. Now, this includes a full-size sink. You have hot and cold water, and you also have an 8,000 BTU and your dual burner cooktop and a Yeti 75 cooler. Bam! I don't know why I did that, but I'm going to go with it because I just felt it. Anyways, these trailers are available in a number of colors. You have the Lost Coast Blue, and you have a Desert Tan, and the newest option for 2024, which is the one I got to see out at Overland West in Flagstaff, Arizona last month, was this beautiful Moab Red. I'm telling you, that color did it for me. You know, when you look at the photos here or the footage that I'm putting on the screen here, out in the forest, that red just popped so darn nice. So in other words, from top to bottom, inside and out, the Escapod has outfitted the Topo 2 with some really awesome features. But as I said earlier, I promised you when you watch this video, there are a few Easter eggs with the Topo 2 trailer that make it even more interesting option for your needs.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
So I'm going to refer to my trusty list here that I came absolutely prepared for. Okay, starting off with what I'm going to call the kind of warming up, the appetizer to these Easter eggs, is if you look around the trailer, you're going to see these Topo 2 branded kind of etched into the metal or cut out of the metal and so forth. And the thing that I found this pretty interesting. Now, many of you may know I drive a Jeep, and Jeep has all these little Easter egg logos or Jeep emblems and this and that kind of tucked away in these small little spots throughout the Jeep and so forth, these AKA Easter eggs. So I thought that was pretty cool because the last time I was out there, I'm looking at one of the hinges here, which I'll put it on the screen here. I'm like, oh, well, look at that. It says Topo 2 right down there. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, earlier I brought up on each side of the bed, you have, kind of a nightstand. But the cool part with this here is you have charging stations. So you can take your handy dandy phone and you have one of those mag stations that you can plop your phone onto and charge it nice and conveniently and pick it up and use it for whatever you need. I like that. Now, if you walk around to the back of the trailer on the right hand side, you're going to see a rectangle kind of fixture thing sitting there, and then when you undo that, pop that out, that's a table. So you can take that table, swing it over, and mount it on the side of the trailer, which it's great for 2 to 3 people to sit down, enjoy a meal, play games, or do whatever you want. But again, it's built right into the back of the trailer, or in the back of this thing here. I absolutely love that. Now next, if you look right to the left of where that table was in the back of the galley there, you're gonna see another rectangle that you can kind of pop out of there. Now you pull that off, that becomes a chopping board. Right behind that is a built-in knife set. So as convenient as it is, again, I just love the modularity and the utility-ness of this trailer. Really well done, and I absolutely love that what they've done from a design standpoint. Now, here's the one that really got me right here. Now, I knew there was a shower inside this thing, but oddly enough, I never really saw where it was. Now, there's a water hookup in the back side of this thing here, and I guess I never really hooked up. But even if I had hooked it up, the one part I'm going to talk about right here is the part that really was the inspiration for me about this video. So as Chris, the owner of the company, is kind of playing show and tell with me on this trailer here, he plugs in the shower and he's like, oh, bet you haven't seen this. And he comes over and I'm watching, I'm like, huh, that is really cool. So he has this bracket, this mount that has a magnet in it. Actually, is the magnet in the side of the trailer or is it in the mount? Either way, one of them has a magnet in it. And on the side of the trailer, you put your mount and boom, your shower mounts right there. That, my friends, no joke, is the inspiration for this video. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, light bulb. There we go right there. So I thought that was pretty darn cool. Now, if you go in the back of this thing, right below the sink, there's a little drawer thing that pops downward. Nice little spice rack right in there. I like that. And last but not least, so this is, you go back inside the cabin and you have these cabinets and you open the doors and they kind of create this V shape like this. Then you pull down one additional, the center cabinet right there, and boom, what do you look at that? You can mount a tablet or a laptop on there and hands-free watch whatever your movies or YouTubes or whatever you want. But anyways, I thought that was really cool. So boom, just like that. So combined with the laundry list of specs and features that I discussed a little bit earlier in this video, these Easter eggs really make the Topo 2 one of the best equipped teardrops on the market today. But you'd expect nothing less from Escapod, right? I mean, these guys, even their original Topo trailer, now granted, for me, it wasn't my cup of tea, but it was built very, very, very well. Just with this one, they just raised the bar. I mean, they just set the stage, a whole new stage for teardrop trailers. Now, this is one of those companies that has always been, when you think about it, at the forefront of innovation. It offers outdoor enthusiasts like you and me with some pretty darn good options for getting out there and exploring the world. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link. You know what? Actually, the light bulb just went off here. So it just dawned on me, because a lot of these trailer manufacturers, if you go directly to the trailer manufacturer, they have lead times and waits because these trailers are in very high demand. And so it just dawned on me, I'm going to put a link to Better Outfitters down below. Better Outfitters so if you want to get one of these trailers and don't want to wait through whatever lead time that they have and so forth, Better Outfitters has a handful of these trailers on their lot. So you can drive down to Texas or get this thing shipped to you and be able to enjoy summer camping right now today in your brand new Topo 2. So actually what I'll do is I'll put a link to them down below. But if you have any questions about the Topo 2, anything at all relating to what I've covered in this video, leave a comment down below or send me a message, whatever. And if I have the answer, I'll get it to you. If I don't have the answer, no, that's what I want to say. If I have the answer, I'll answer. If I don't have the answer, I will get it for you. But friends, that's all I got here for you today. So until next time, I hope you have a great, fantastic summer. Get some fresh air and see this great, beautiful world of ours. So we'll see you next time.